The blue elixir. The second time it happened was worse than the first. Her face was pale, her breathing shallow. The billionaire called for nurses to act, but they hesitated. Then, a housekeeper stepped forward with a mysterious blue liquid that no one believed in. What happened next left the father in tears and the doctor admitting that she had saved the girl's life. Before we dive in, let's get a little context on when and where we're watching this from. It all started when little Ivy first collapsed. It was spring. Lucas Davenport had just come home from a boardroom meeting to find his daughter sprawled on the floor of her nursery, her blonde hair matted to her red dress with sweat. Terror ripped through him. Within the hour, the best pediatrician in the city was at their mansion. The man's tone was professional, but his words shook Lucas to the core. His daughter had a hypoglycemic episode, not life-threatening this time, but dangerous. It meant her blood sugar had dropped to low. If it happened again, she could seize, even stop breathing. She needed constant food and careful monitoring. Lucas gripped his daughter's hand, which was slack in his. But I feed her. She eats breakfast, lunch, dinner. Not enough for her metabolism, the doctor interrupted. Children burn through glucose fast. Restrictive diets, missed snacks, or stress can all trigger it. You'll need a trained caregiver. The next day, two private nurses arrived, immaculate in white uniforms, blue gloves, and pristine resumes. Lucas introduced them proudly. Now you'll be safe, Ivy. No more scares. But in the corner, a young woman named Maya stood stiffly in her dark blue uniform, a white apron cinched neatly, yellow gloves, and clutching the green towel she always carried. For 2 years, she had been Ivy's shadow, carrying her to bed, coaxing her to eat when she didn't want to, and inventing games with water and colors. Now, she was being pushed aside. That evening, Maya gathered her courage. "Sir," she said respectfully, kneeling by the crib where Lucas sat, "I've cared for Ivy since she was in diapers. I know when she's tired, when she's hungry, when she's about to cry. I can take care of her." Lucas didn't even look at her. His eyes remained on the papers in his hand. "You're not a nurse, Maya. You're not trained. I can't risk my daughter's health on a whim." Her jaw tightened. "It's not a whim, sir. It's knowing her. Every beat of her heart, it felt against my chest. Every fever, every stomachache. I was the one who stayed awake." Finally, he looked at her, his blue eyes cold. "That's over now. The professionals are here. Do your job. Clean the house. Leave the medicine to them." The words cut deep, but Maya absorbed them. She was just a housekeeper. 4 weeks. Ivy's life was scheduled down to the minute. Meal times were precise. Sugar checks were forced. Naps were enforced. The nurses measured everything, documenting every spoonful. Lucas was convinced he had secured her safety. Then came the second collapse. It happened in the living room, toys scattered across the carpet. Lucas had just come home, still in his cobalt blue suit, when Ivy tottered toward him, her red dress rumpled, her face pale. "Daddy," she murmured, and crumpled into his arms. His blood ran cold. "Ivy, Ivy." He shook her gently, horror gripping his chest as her breathing turned shallow, almost non-existent. "Help her," he roared at the nurses. One rushed forward, her gloves trembling. "We must wait for the doctor. It's protocol. Protocol." Lucas' voice was a raw scream. "She's dying in my arms." Maya was already kneeling at his side. The green towel slipped from her shoulder. She pressed her hand to Ivy's forehead. "Cold," she muttered. "Her pulse is thready. She's fading." Lucas glared at her. "Don't start, Maya." But Ivy's body jerked once, her breathing catching in her throat. Lucas almost collapsed himself. "Oh God, no." The nurses backed away, muttering timidly, paralyzed by hesitation. Marja's hands shook, but her eyes hardened. She stood, vanished into the kitchen, and returned in moments. In her yellow gloves, she held a clear glass of liquid, startlingly blue under the light. Lucas froze. "What in the hell is that?" His voice was a mix of outrage and terror. Marja's chest rose and fell with a ragged breath. She sank to her knees, the glass trembling in her hand. Her mouth opened as if to explain, then closed again. Lucas' voice dropped to a whisper. Did you bring some chemical, some poison? Are you insane? Marja's dark eyes flashed. You can hate me later, but for now. She raised the glass, her voice breaking. This might be the only thing between her and death. The nurses gasped, aghast. Lucas clutched his daughter tighter, trapped between his rage, his fear, and the sight of that mysterious glowing drink. The room hung on a razor's edge. Nobody knew what was inside the glass. Nobody but me. Lucas' heart hammered so hard he thought his chest would crack. He clutched Ivy closer, feeling her faint breaths falter against his white shirt. Her tiny lips parted, but no sound came out. Her skin was clammy, her eyelids fluttering like a candle about to go out. And still, my aunt out there, holding that strange blue liquid in her yellow, gloved hand. I swear to God, Lucas hissed, his voice sharp with terror. If you give her poison, I will poison you. Maya cut in, her voice shaking but steady enough to pierce the air. It's just sugar water, white sugar, warm water, a pinch of salt, and food coloring. It's a natural butterfly pea flower infusion. I used to use it before to get her to drink water when she didn't want to. The blue barely had any taste. Then it made her smile. She liked it. I kept using it. I didn't tell anyone because I knew you'd laugh at me. But it's safe, and it's the fastest way to get her blood sugar back up. Lucas stared, the horror in his eyes deepening. You expect me to believe this kitchen concoction is medicine? Marja's throat bobbed. No, sir. I expect you to believe your daughter is slipping away while the experts do nothing. Her brain is starving every second. Her cells are shutting down. This is glucose. It reaches her bloodstream in minutes. If I wait for permission, she might not wake up again. The nurses moaned. We can't allow that. Shut up. Lucas snapped, his voice thunderous. She's not breathing right. Ivy gave a soft jerk in his arms, her chest rising unevenly, then falling with a thin rasp. Lucas felt the bottom of his world drop out. Please, Maya begged, pushing the glass closer. Let me try. If I'm wrong, fire me. Have me arrested. Drag me through the streets. But if I'm right, she lives. Lucas' mouth trembled. He looked at his daughter's pale face, then at the frozen nurses. His judgment felt like walking on a cliff. Do it, he whispered hoarsely. For God's sake, do it. Maya slid forward, steadying Ivy's chin with her gloved hand. Just a sip, my angel, she murmured. She tilted the glass. A single drop touched the child's lips. Nothing. Another drop. Lucas' knuckles went white around his daughter's arm. She didn't. Then, a tired swallow. Maya exhaled sharply. She coaxed another sip, murmuring under her breath. 1, 2, 3. Slowly, Ivy's throat moved again. Her fluttery pulse steadied. Her chest rose a little fuller. The rasp was gone. And then, in a voice no louder than a breath, she said into his ear, Daddy. Lucas broke into a sob, clutching her tighter. Yes, baby. Yes, Daddy's here. I've got you. The nurse's eyes, once horrified, were now stunned. Maya let the glass drop into her hands, relief crashing over her. Moments later, the doctor rushed in with paramedics. He checked Ivy quickly, shining a light in her eyes, taking her vitals. What happened? Lucas demanded, his voice ragged. The doctor looked at the half-empty glass in Maja's hands, then at Ivy, who was already recovering her strength. She had a severe hypoglycemic episode, he explained grimly. Her blood sugar crashed. For a child her age, that can be life-threatening. In minutes. Brain function can't happen without glucose. If she had gone another few minutes without intervention, she could have suffered a seizure, slipped into a coma, even not survived. Lucas felt the air get sucked out of his lungs. He pulled Ivy closer, kissing her hair desperately. The fast-acting sugar you gave her is exactly the emergency treatment needed. The doctor continued, nodding at the glass. The salt helps the body absorb it more quickly. And the blue color, if it's just a harmless plant infusion like she said, then it didn't change the chemistry. But it did get the child to take in the drink willingly. She probably saved her life. The words crashed over Lucas. He turned to look at Maya slowly. She was pale, exhausted, and still on her knees with the green towel slipped down her arm. I pushed you away, Lucas said hoarsely. I told you that you were not an expert. I trusted strangers in white coats over a woman who knew my daughter's every breath. His voice broke. And if I hadn't been so distrustful, tonight, I would be holding a corpse. Marja's eyes filled with tears, her lips trembling. Don't thank me, sir. I did it because I couldn't watch her go. Lucas' chest heaved. He reached out, taking her arm. No, Maya. You did it because you loved her in a way that I couldn't replace with money. And I won't forget it. As the paramedics prepared Ivy for observation, Lucas looked at his daughter, then back at Maya. You're not just a housekeeper anymore, he said, his voice low but firm. You're family, and I'm sorry for every time I dismissed you. Tears streamed down Marja's face as she finally let the glass fall into her lap. She wasn't a helper who mopped floors anymore. She was a woman who fought for a child's life when no one else dared. And Lucas knew it. He owed her his daughter's heartbeat and his sanity.